Hello chickies and welcome to the Fully Booked Penguin channel. I am Hannah and today we're actually going over several days. We are having a week away from home. And this week I am listening to music, reading, writing, napping, snacking, all the good things with a good friend of mine in a different house, in a new place. Just having a little week away. So hopefully a lot of reading gets done and a bit of writing. Less so writing because I don't have my computer here, but I'm trying to also get through a bit of book one things that need to be done, like a bio, a blurb, hiring an artist, you know, those things. Those good fun things that need to be done. So we might work on a bit of that, but mainly it will be reading. Yesterday was Monday. We went to the library with the library ladies and had my picture taken for the paper, along with everyone else. It was like a group action shot, but I just happened to be the person sharing at the time. So I might be in the paper. We gossiped afterwards and then, you know, moved into the accommodations. And then I read 20% of our first book for this vlog, and that is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and it is a young adult mystery thriller crime thing. And the FBI are collecting the Naturals, which is gifted teenagers, of course, because as we know, it's the teenagers that solve the crimes. But the kids are brought in to solve cold cases and serial crimes. And I'm thinking this one will be murder. The review by Ali Carter, whoever she is, says that it's the Criminal Minds for the YA world. So as I said, I am 60 pages in, which is 20%. It's a pretty fast read, I would say. Can't say I'm especially attached to anyone yet, but it's still fun and quick to read, so I shouldn't take too long getting through it. And then I have a whole heap of other books, which I won't introduce until I'm reading them, because you know how these reading books go. I start them and then I'm like, I don't feel like this book, and I read other books, and then I'm like, well, I can't use that for this vlog because I said which books, and none of these books fit that. Also, you can hear a little tick. You can hear the tip taps in the background. They are solar fed little bobbleheads. They just do what they can. They do what they can, and it's fun. So we have candles, we have snacks, we have books and a notepad, a couple of games. I do play some music. I've got my little iPod of music. Last night I was playing it off my phone, but today we are iPodding it up with all the K-pop songs mostly. I don't really have much else to share. So we're just going to get in and read some more of our little book, and I'll check in later. This will probably mostly just be checking in about the book each morning. The rest of the time I'll be hanging out with my friend, so you won't hear from me when she's around, probably. Reading. The grand idea. Welcome to this evening. I'm halfway through The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Look, I'm not really attached to anyone. One person I'm attached to is probably Dean. And if he turns out to be a serial killer by the end of this, I don't care. So it's an instant love triangle in this, or love angle as I prefer to call them. And she's already kissed both men. She's meant to be a profiler, she's meant to be smart, but she's just discovered something that really you could tell from the very beginning if you had a single brain cell in your head. Like, I don't think it was meant to be a twist. I think it's fairly obvious. The hints that, what's this character name? Okay, so there's Dean, who's our lad. Then there's Flirty McFlirtstar, as I like to call him. Michael, okay. So there's Michael, right, and he's a Flirty McFlirtstar, and then there's Dean, who's the broody moody, and then there's our main character, who is Cassie. And Cassie has smooched both, and really, Michael has pretty much given away the big twist that has come halfway through about Dean early on, and even then the vibes were giving me the facts anyway. She's suddenly acting really shocked and, oh my goodness, and I'm like, girl, the signs were there. Like, we knew this already. Well, I knew this. We knew this. If you're gonna have it in first person view, you're gonna have them as smart as me otherwise. I am not unsmart. I knew this. And it's like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm not shocked at all. Anyway, so I took a break and we read volume 4 of A Stepmother's Mansion. And, it's so good. We got some past views. Culty man. Well, the cult man is a heretic, is what I'm trying to say. And pretty much the whole church is a bit of a heretic. But it was nice. We saw the events surrounding Shuri's death from the family and Nora's point of view. And we got some backstory of the Prince Theobald, or Baldy as I like to call him, and also Culty Man, who had a moment of enlightening that failed because he just became a heretic for the other side of what he was on. So he was still in the wrong. The enlightenment failed. The Hoyos failed. If anyone played Age of Empires, they would get what that means. And then we got some more of them. It's a time skip and we get them as adults, or close to. They're 17, 18, sort of age range, so. But it was fun. It was a nice little break. Still very political intrigue going on, so it wasn't like a break per se, but it was a fun time watching them get emotional. Anyway, so I might read some more of The Naturals, but otherwise I'm going to hang out with my friend and do stuff with her after dinner, whatever dinner is. Alrighty, I have finished The Naturals today, and I can safely say that I suspected who had done it, the whodunits. Like, I had this inkling, and I had no facts, no motive. It was just straight vibes. That's all I was running on, just vibes of what I was taking off these people. And I was correct. So, you call me detective. So it is about serial killers and getting into the mind of serial killers. So it's a bit creepy, thrillerish in that aspect. Also, there was a love angle. And I don't enjoy them. As Bo the Chicken says in Skip Beat, there are the seeds of love. And so we'll see. I have an inkling about who she'll end up with, though, because there's a certain type that YA authors tend to go for. I think I know who that is. So we shall see if my inkling, the vibes from that are correct, but you should have seen me. I was so happy to have been right. I get a little joyous from being right. The writing is quick, the chapters are short, so the pacing is pretty good, and so it was really easy to read through. But again, our girlie just misses some really obvious clues at times, and I'm like, who's the detective here? Me. I am. The ending, how they wrapped it all up, could have been so easily avoided if they picked up on, clues. But it was okay. It was just a fun. Was it fun? It was quick. I gave it 4 stars because I did enjoy myself. But I did a lot of zoning out. Whether you can tell what kind of book it is by how much I zone out and come up with my own timeline. And this one I was zoning out to go off on my own timeline. So if the book is just good for being good and I really love it, I won't zone out to make up my own alternate plotline. Sometimes I'll zone out to think about things, but most of the time I won't come up with an alternate plotline if I'm really enjoying it. But in this one I was. So, but yeah, so we finished that book. 308 pages, done. And now we are on to, wait, let me bring it up so I can show you the thing. A Beguiled Gentleman by Audra Wells. And so in this one we are following, well, we actually start off in the man's point of view, the male viewpoint, Noah. So Noah, it starts the first chapter with him, and it goes down very quickly for the lad. But I'm enjoying myself. I am getting like anxiety for the lad. Like, I know what's going to happen because it's the first chapter and it gives you spoilers in the blurb for the book, but I still got nervous for him, and we run into our heroine in the first chapter too, and in chapter 2 obviously she's the main character, but Hannah is also here, but she's a bit of a sticky beak. She likes to know what's happened, and she may have been eavesdropping, or it's suspected that she was eavesdropping. 261 pages. I'm expecting to be fairly quick on my way through this, but we shall see what happens. As I say, very early days. We're just one chapter in, but I'm having fun. Very Regency balls, and this is outside of London, but same vibes. But yeah, I snacked, I played some Sudoku, and I coloured in a leaf or two, and yeah, I don't know if I'm being a good guest to my host. She's also reading Ranger's Apprentice right now, and she started Assassin's Blade, The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas, and I'm trying not to give spoilers, but I'm also like, I'm very non-spoilery, but also very, very cool about my non-spoileriness. So is that a spoiler to be non-vocal? It's all in the expression, but but we're having fun. Well, I am, and I hope she is too. And yeah, but otherwise, reading is on the agenda. Might put on a bit of music, and we shall endeavour to have a bit of a nice eve of reading. Also, I'll do one writing nook, but you can be in the know. I messaged and emailed a list of things to a cover artist that I'm really hoping says yes to me. Because they all have the right to decline your job. Even if you're saying, I'm going to pay you for your services, they can still say no. And so I'm like, here's a description. I don't have any references at this point, but I can get them to you once I'm home. And I'm like, and hopefully the rest of it is description enough for you. We shall see. Anyway, exciting stuff. So I'm trying to do just little things for book 1, and I've got like a couple of sentences of book 2 written. This is a book 1 working on week, with a little bit of writing when I have some sudden ideas, and then a lot of reading, but we're having fun. So anyway, that's my update. Shall see you either later this eve or tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll get another update. So, howdy. You'll have to excuse the rocking, and also the lighting. I can't be bothered changing it, so it's just what you get. Also the traffic sounds. So, I have an update. It is now the 4th day. And A Beguiled Gentleman has been completed by Audra Wells. What updates do I have to tell you? Because I think I just started it and now I'm updating you that I finished it. Oh, I just noticed the bees on the cover. That's hilarious. Anyway, in A Beguiled Gentleman, there's a lot of angsty moments, a lot of back and forth, a lot of scandal without real scandal. I mean, scandal for the moment. And attachments and incorrect attachments and false claims, and whoa! It was strangers to friends to lovers. So I enjoyed that, but there were quite a few strangers. But there were quite a few smoochies in the later half. I mean, there's a couple of moments of just clumsiness on the main character's behalf, and she does find herself in quite a few embarrassing situations. So the poor thing. She does have red hair like me. I think the only critique is the blokes. I mean, he obviously, his realization that he likes her, right, is mainly triggered by a smoocheroonie. I would have liked him to come to that conclusion without there having to be a smoocheroonie, let's be honest. But I understand that's kind of how guys work, but at the same time, this is a fictional world. So it was fun. I, of course, flew through it, so that's when you know I am enjoying it. That or I'm hating on it, but this definitely wasn't a hate read, so I am interested to see, because it's about the Bradley brothers, so I'm interested to see what the other brothers do, because you get a hint at one of the older brothers. He used to have an old friend, and you know me, friends to lovers is my thing, and this might be a second chance, unless he finds a new girl, and the whole thing is him trying to get over the first girl. Either way, I'm here for it. So if Audra can just release the next books, I will be reading them. The first chapter is like so cringe because he's so in love with another woman, and it really does, I think she captures that new love / first love ooey gooey feelings really well, but it is so cringe, so I'm like, oh, that's sweet, but also far too sweet. It's sickeningly sweet. So they also have lemon drops and things in this, and marzipan, which I despise, but they ate it, so they mustn't despise it. But yeah, I don't know quite what I'm going to rate it. As I say, there were a few cringy or like super, not cliche, but overtly secondhand embarrassment, but not to the point where you're like, oh, it's just like, oh, you feel sorry for the characters kind of thing. So maybe a 4.5. It wasn't quite a 5-star, but it's up there. So it was a good fun read. And now we have to choose what our next book is going to be. Either Rustling the Cowboy's Heart or The Mistress of Torlek. I think we're going to go switch eras, and we're going to go for Rustling the Cowboy's Heart. It's got a little bit of mystery in it, so oh wait, there's the front cover. The only thing I have to say about this is, why is the girl wearing heels on a farm? They always have it too. I'm like, just have her wear, you know, country friendly footwear, unless she's from the city. But it doesn't sound like she's from the city. But anyway, Rustling the Cowboy's Heart by Ellie Paul is going to be our next read. But on the side note, I'm going to try and write a book blurb, send it off to my brother, and see whether he thinks it's intriguing. Otherwise I'll have to rewrite it again. But I'm going for amusement factor this time, this blurb, so we'll see if he likes the amusement factor or just the plain facts for a book blurb. Good morning! Okay, so we had some adventures that I need to update you on. Firstly, that of Rustling the Cowboy's Heart. I read to 23% and DNF'd it, but even before then I had an inkling it was going to be in DNF because, look, it wasn't good. The writing was clunky, it jumped around randomly, you had characters popping in for 5 seconds then popping out like little gophers. Our female character had a boyfriend which she totally despises. Every thought she has about the man is just despise. Just, she hates this guy. And meanwhile, she just keeps going to her father and saying, hey, I don't think me and the bloke are, like, working well. And her father's like, oh, you'll get over it. And so she just stays with this bloke, even though she obviously has no respect or anything for him. Not that he deserves it, because it turns out he's a bit of a flirty, cheating so-and-so, but she still stays with him. And it's meant to be, I think, a slightly Christian one. And they mention faith and God several times, but I feel like it's more added in as like a word quota. She has to reach a certain level of faith and God was, because none of their witness or their inner thoughts show anything that is meant to be good godly character. Not a speck. It wasn't good, and I just couldn't I couldn't keep reading it. It was woeful. Instead, we have moved on to The Mistress of Tall Acre. So Laura Fran's Mistress of Tall Acre. And so I am 40% through that. And I'm actually enjoying this. It's a bit darker. It's not super quick. Our girl has feelings, but there's a lot of, not misunderstanding, just situational stuff. And there's a little bit of mystery going on. Mystery going on, and yeah, it's a little bit more tense. It is a bit longer than usual. It's a 400-page book. So, my friend was bagging me out. Not really. She wasn't really. She was just mentioning that 300 pages isn't a long book, or 400 pages isn't a long book. And I'm like, it feels like a long book, but I'll probably get through it. Easy enough. It's enjoyable so far. I think I mentioned about a book blurb. I finished writing a book blurb. I went for a slightly humorous rather than just here's the facts. So they'll get the idea of the story, but it's also, interesting in my mind. I think my artist that I reached out to is waiting for reference pictures because, they haven't responded, but they have told me they will have a look. So we will see what happens once I send off reference pictures, because I did say in it, I was like, if you want to wait for the reference pictures, I will not blame you. And I meant that. Otherwise, we've been playing Marrying Mr Darcy, which has been fun, and having snacks. And we even had chocolate-coated strawberries, which was so good. My friend offered to get more strawberries and stuff today, so I'm a bit spoiled. I do not the best at being spoiled. I'm trying to allow myself to be, but in the back of my mind, I am like, is this even enjoyable to my friend? Am I a pain? Am I not grateful enough? Am I being too casual? Should I be doing more? So that's going through my head. But otherwise, I might have a little sneaky nap this afternoon. My friend has gone out for the afternoon. She'll be back this evening. So I do have nap time if required. Otherwise, I'll just be doing some reading, listening to a bit of music, and trying to forget the atrocity that was that Cowboy book. I have downloaded a different one on my phone, and it is also a longer one, but I can't remember what it is. Just as a replacement, because I'm like, well, that's disappointing. So we'll see if I enjoy that one more. That's more a historical one, though. It's set back in a bit of time, so it's not a contemporary. I think it has a girl who goes with her sister who has been, mail order brided. But I don't think the bloke who sent for them knew about him sending for them. And then they're on the farm kind of thing, and stuff is happening. Supposedly it's very, lots of stuff happens in it, according to the reviews. They're like, oh, this keeps you on the toes, always something happening, something interesting. So we'll see if I too enjoy it. But again, I think I read one page. So I don't know what the rest of it is. So I might be speaking too soon, but that's my update for now. I shall re-update in a bit. Again, this doesn't have much clips of me actually reading or doing anything. It's just me talking about the books once I finish them, pretty much, really, isn't it? Oh well. Well, hello there. Let me just bring up a white background so it blinds me with some extra light. You can hear the rumbly tumbly of the computer. It's on. Now I do realise I look a bit like Anne in the Anne of Green Gables sequel with Megan Follows and Jonathan Crombie. When she finds out that Gilbert is dying. That's the kind of floofiness that is happening right now. But it's just gonna be that way because I'm not at the accommodation anymore. I've come home, I've returned to the place. I had a great few days finishing up, but I just didn't film anything. Well, I got home on Sunday, and then Monday, let's just say I had all intentions of being still going well, because on Sunday I was like, oh, I feel great. Monday came, wiped out. I had such a headache. I was so tired. I could have slept all day. And I think it's just my body was like registering that it was home. So it's like, okay, you don't need any of the stuff keeping you like anymore. You don't need that. So it just went and just my body just. So today, at least I don't have a headache. The rest of my body is like, we just want to sleep, but at least the headache's gone. So, good job, buddy. I thought I would finish up this video since I never did at the accommodation. So as you know, I was reading The Mistress of Tall Acre by, give me a second, Laura France, which is a historical romance. It's a Christian one, and it is set post the American Revolution. And in it, we are following a lady who has this certain property that neighbours Tall Acre. I think it's called Three Chimneys. I never found out if it has 3 chimneys. I assume so. Anyway, and she's there, and she's only got one old servant dude and one maid who is also older. People are shunning her because her father was a Tory, and therefore on the opposite side of the revolutionists, and everyone disliked them, and she was getting shunned, even though she was personally in support. She was on the same side as them, but because her father wasn't. And anyway, the general who owns the place next door comes home with his daughter. News is that his wife has died, and the girl was with family. He took her in the middle of the night because the family didn't want to let her go. And he's like, well, she's my daughter. Sucks to be you, but I'm taking her. And that's sort of where we began with it. And really, it was pretty good. I'm just, near the end, it was a little bit rushed. Because you're just going along. There's a lot that happens. Like, tell me, there's a lot that happens in the emotional range. At one point, the little girl gets kidnapped. There's a bit of mystery. But during the final, I think it's like 20%, you have this trial, you have the conflict, not really a breakup, but a bit of tension there, and I could tell how it was going to be resolved, but you're there like, oh my goodness, this is a giant mess. But fortunately, we did finish that book, so I gave it a 4 stars of The Mistress of Tall Acre. I enjoyed myself. It was slightly longer than my usual. Okay, I usually have like around 300 pages of my books. Okay, I read a lot of YA, and they're mainly around there. Anyway, so this one was a bit longer, but it was good. I read it in 2 days, I think, or 1 day. 1 day supposedly, but I think it was more like 2 days, and I just didn't updated it until the next day. And so yeah, I finished that up. And then we got on to the other one I was telling you about, the replacement Cowboy country vibes. Because the first one was so disappointing, so bad, I went for something different, and that was Healing the Mountain Man's Heart by Misty Bella. And it is a country historical romance that's set somewhere in the USA. Frontier, maybe? Is it a frontier one? Anyway, the series is Brothers of Sapphire Branch. This is book 1 in that series. And when I tell you, it is like a TV show because there's always something going wrong or something happening. Our main character is Dinah, and as I said before, she's traveling with her sister. Anyway, she's a doctor, and so when she's there, she's constantly has things to do. Let's just put it that way. And while also helping out this bloke, Jericho, who has his family there. He's the oldest brother. His parents are no longer there. And he's trying to keep the family together. He's also very, standoffish towards strangers. And he doesn't want anyone else on his land or traveling through because that brings danger. Anyway, but there's always some accident, somebody to heal, something going on. So she's there looking after the kids and, bonding them with their uncle. Just so much going on that it is very much like TV drama. A bit like Medicine Woman, if people remember that. Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. It's pretty much those kind of vibes, 100%. And there's always something going on, and it ended okay. There was a lot of just mentioning propriety stuff, but I'm kind of hoping that their thing was more because they both sort of experienced stuff where propriety wasn't really happening. Her sister is pregnant and unmarried, and his sister married a bloke. He wasn't a very good man, and that is why he hates strangers, but also he's constantly like, I can't let my brothers stay in the same area or attach themselves to these women. But it's kind of a little too much. I think they're a little too cautious, but I'm putting it down to that's because of past experiences. It's just the way it's said. I'm like, do you trust your family at all? And the answer is obviously no when it comes to things, matters of the heart, and doing the morally right thing. But, you know, I can see it, but I think they go a smidge too far. So it was intriguing. It was pretty good. I don't know whether I liked it as... I mean, I think it was because it felt like you were watching a TV show with all the drama going on constantly that I did enjoy myself. It was like watching Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, in book form with a little bit more romance and Christian vibes. I don't know, I think I would give it a 4 stars. I enjoyed myself. Again, it was a longer one. Did I mention that I finished... No, I don't think I did. Me and my friend were doing a buddy read for the past, well, from January to now. And that was Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. It is the book 2 in the Throne of Glass series. I'm not going to say much about it. It's not my favourite series. Selena is not my favourite female character. Pretty much I like Fleetfoot the doggy. Ress, who is one of her random guards that just pops up every now and then and really has nothing else going on, but I love him. And then we have Kale. I do like Kale. And there, I said it. Do I think he's going to end up with Selena? No. I think by now, both of her relationships with both Kale and Dorian are over by this point. I just don't see them getting that back. So we'll see what men she picks up next. I mean, at the moment, she's 1 per book. Oh, and the prequels. So she's been swapping men like swapping clothes, really. And yeah, I don't know. I hated Nehemiah. I'm calling her Nehemiah. It's probably not her name, but I just despised her. I think she was disgustingly manipulative and she didn't really care at all. She was just wanted Selena for her cause. And yet everyone's like, oh, Nehemiah. I'm like... Anyway, I'm not gonna continue because I really have not much good to say about that book other than Fleetfoot, Ress, and maybe Dorian and Kale get an honorable mention. But really, it's 2 characters that barely show up in the dog, and then a random guard. They're the only ones I'm like super attached to. As my mother says, if you have nothing good to say, don't say it at all. Which I'll leave it at that. I think I'm just in my historical fiction romance era. I've just been gobbling them up, really. And I haven't been in a fantasy mood. But as they say, you don't have to be reading the same stuff all the time. In fact, most people say that you shouldn't be reading the same thing all the time. Well, I don't think it's a bad thing to read the same thing if that's what you enjoy and you never tire of it. But for me, I tire of things so quickly, which is something I should probably talk to a therapist about. But, you know, whatever. I don't like to clamp onto one thing for too long. And I do end up going back, usually, but I did send off reference pictures to the artist that I want for my book covers, but they haven't responded. I mean, it was the weekend, though, so maybe in the next couple of days. If not, I'll have to find a different one. Otherwise, I've done my book blurb. I need to do an author blurb, and I'm like, I don't know, and like a dedication page and decide if I want to give my chapter names. I don't think I do. Create a table of contents, all that sort of fun stuff. But that's not really, this was more a reading vlog, so I don't know why I'm telling you all that. Let's go through how many books I read. Okay, so first up, we read A Step In With This Martian, Volume 4, by Spice and Kitty and Orca. A fantastic manhwa. Then I read The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It's like a young adult mystery thriller, and it was okay too. I did guess who the bad guy was, which I actually enjoyed. I like feeling smart, so I didn't get much decreased from it other than for the love triangle, which I hated. Okay, next up we had A Beguiled Gentleman by Audra Wells. And I've got to say, it was fun. Again, some up and down bits, but I enjoyed it. These historical romances have a bit of drama going on. So it's a bit all over the place, but I eat it up, so don't judge me. Then we had Rustling the Cowboy's Heart, which I DNF'd at 23% because just no, I won't continue on. And that was by Ellie Hall. Then we had The Mistress of Tall Acre by Laura France, which enjoyable, fun time. Again, little bits I felt like the pacing was a little off, or I don't know, it was just rushed right near the end. And then we have Healing the Mountain Man's Heart by Misty Bella, which I read. And I never counted them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 books in a week. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. I mean, one was a DNF and one was a manhwa, but that still counts in my book. That wraps up my week away in reading. I know I just spoke about the books. Hopefully it was still okay and fun to listen to. If not, well, they've already clicked off the video by this point, haven't they? So, yeah. Please put a star emoji below if you've reached this point and want to comment. And I shall see you all in the next video. Until then, peace.
T26